Hello and welcome. My name is Natalie from the Institutional Banking team in Australia. Thank you for joining me today as I take you through our Tips and Tricks webinar designed to help you get the most out of your ANZ Transactive Global experience. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge that I'm joining you from the lands of the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation. I also acknowledge the traditional owners of the various lands on which you are joining from today. I pay my respect to elders past and present and to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples joining us today. Our training webinars are designed to provide you with information and resources to help unlock the full potential of ANZ Transactive Global, a digital web and mobile solution designed to simplify your banking experience. Through a single interface, you can access common banking services such as cash management, trade finance, loans, commercial cards, markets, and data insights. In today's webinar, I'll be demonstrating some of the features that are the most commonly searched articles from our digital services help page. This includes security logon devices, payment processing times, explain user permissions, and finally how to navigate through digital services help. Following today's session, I will encourage you to visit our digital services help to revisit previous tips and tricks webinars for information on features such as workspaces, customizing grids, and scheduling reports. I will show you how to find these at the end of today's session. Please feel free to use the Q&A option at the top of the screen to post any questions you may have today. My colleagues are online and will answer as many of your questions as possible as we go. Today's training session is being recorded. The video and a copy of the Q&A will be published in ANZ Digital Services Help in the coming days, so you can re-watch or share with colleagues who weren't able to join us live. Last thing before we start, this session is being conducted using a training environment, which means that some of the screens and system behaviour may appear different to what you see in Transactive Global. Please keep that in mind as we go. For anything outside of Transactive Global, we will show screens from the online help. Let's start by looking at some tips relating to logging into Transactive Global. There are several ways to access the user logon screen. We recommend logging in via anz.com, selecting Institutional from the top menu bar, and then clicking on the ANZ Transactive Global button under Login. After entering your user ID, your individual login experience will vary depending on whether you are a password-only user or have access to a security device. Security devices are not required for all users, but ANZ strongly recommends the use of a security device at all times, as they provide an increased layer of security via two-factor authentication, or 2FA. 2FA confirms your digital identity, using a combination of something you know, your password, and something you have, a security device. Use of both means that even if in the event of an unauthorised person obtaining your password, that piece of information alone is insufficient to access your digital services. ANZ offers two types of security devices, a physical token and an ANZ digital key. Many of you will be familiar with the physical tokens for Transactive Global. It is a handheld device that resembles a calculator and enables you to log on and authenticate activities and transactions using a PIN to generate either an e-signature or one-time password on the device. The second 2FA method available is ANZ Digital Key. This is our digital security device in the form of an app, which can be installed on your camera-enabled mobile device and allows you to log on and authenticate ANZ digital channel activities and transactions using Face ID, fingerprint, or PIN. ANZ Digital Key is compatible with both Apple devices running on version 13 or later and Android devices running on version 9 or later. Using ANZ Digital Key as a digital token replaces the need to carry a physical device. It is possible to have both a token and a digital key, and for some users it may be beneficial to access both types. For example, in the case of a mobile network outage or coverage issue, ANZ Digital Key would be unavailable, but the token would work. Alternatively, depending on the frequency of use, a token battery can last up to 5 years. So if it runs out unexpectedly, then your ANZ digital key should be available. Please also remember, if you log in with the ANZ digital key, you must then perform approvals with the same device. You can request a security device at any time by completing an amend user request in the service request menu of Transactive Global. Please note it is a requirement that security device approvers must have Know Your Customer or KYC information registered with ANZ to approve payments and direct debits. Our next helpful tip when logging into is the Forgot Password option, which is available to users who have an email address and mobile number registered against their profile with ANZ. If you have forgotten your password or your password has been locked, you can utilise the Forgot Password option by clicking Forgot Password, as you see here on this logon screen. After entering your email address, you will be prompted with either receiving a verification code via your registered email address, receiving a push notification from your ANZ digital key, or be prompted to scan a QR code in your ANZ digital key. To determine if your ANZ digital key is set for push notifications or QR code, this can be done by tapping the About menu from the ANZ digital key app. If notifications are enabled for ANZ digital key, the mode will show as either push notifications or QR code, as you can see here. If the mode is shown as QR code, then you can only use the QR code. The screens shown here are for iPhone users. Android phone users will click on the 3 dots in the top right-hand corner to get to this screen. For company-managed users who do not have an email address or mobile number registered with ANZ, your company administrator can update your contact details to take advantage of the self-service feature or generate a temporary password. I will now move on to the next topic of payment cutoff times. This is consistently one of our most frequently asked questions, so hopefully we can make this easier to understand. Before we begin, I would like to point out that my Transactive Global menu to the left will show all menu options available. Your logon may only show a small number of menu options. These menu options are based on the services your organisation has with ANZ, and these also may vary depending on your role. Payment processing and cut-off times vary and are determined by several factors, including the country where the payment originated, the payment type, and the payment currency. You can view cut-off times for your payments in several ways with Transactive Global. When approving a payment, the payment cut-off time can be viewed from the current payments screen grid in the cut-off time column. Click Payments, Current Payments, as you can see, we have needed to scroll across the screen to find this. To make this easier, you can drag this or any column to a different location for ease of viewing. You can also right-click and hide any columns that aren't required. Once all changes have been made, please remember to save so that this view appears automatically in the future. A reminder that these actions can be performed on any grid screens within Transactive Global. You can also view payment cutoff times when creating, reviewing, or viewing the detail of a payment instruction. Let's click on the Create Payment menu, then select Domestic Payment. Select the debit account. Select the payment method. And you will notice the cutoff time will be displayed to the right of the value date. Please also note the information icon. When you hover over this, it will provide further information on how to change your time settings. In Australia, for example, payment times are generally displayed in Australian Eastern Standard Time by default. If you're located in a non-Eastern Standard Time, then you can change the cutoff times according to your location. This is done by checking your time zone settings by clicking on the user ID in the application banner at the top right, going to the Settings and Preferences menu. I'm located in Perth, so I might prefer to view my cutoff times in Western Standard Time. So from here, I would go into the drop-down menu and select the time zone for Perth. I can also change the time zone format from 24-hour time to AM to PM if I prefer. Make sure you save any changes so that going forward, it will be shown for you. From this same menu, you can also set up and view your report retrieval code, which is your password to access your encrypted scheduled reports that are sent to your registered email address. If this option is not available, you will need to register your email address with ANZ. This can be completed by the Service Request menu option. You can also refer to our previous Tips and Tricks webinar held on the 16th of February last year. This webinar can be found on our Digital Services help page. A common issue we see with our customers in Australia is missing the cut-off time for their Australian dollar domestic direct entry payments. Direct entry is still the most common method of processing creditor and payroll payments in Australia. In circumstances where the payment cut-off time may have been missed, to avoid possibly incurring a fee or lodging a payment late, we recommend you consider whether the OSCO real-time payment method would be a viable alternative. Australian dollar domiciled payments can be processed in real time via OSCO payment for eligible accounts. OSCO is available in Australia and enables you to make and receive faster, smarter, and simpler payments at any time, on any day of the year, on eligible accounts via any participating financial institution. OSCO payments are made from one Australian domiciled AUD account to another Australian domiciled AUD account, and are processed in near real time for eligible accounts. This payment method is 24/7, 365, making it ideal for payments outside of traditional business hours. There are two methods of creating an OSCO payment. As you can see, we are already in this screen. Also note, as this is the demo site, you will notice the time hasn't changed. In your site, this will update to 23:59 based on your time zone. The first method is to complete the domestic payment fields below. Selecting OSCO payment method, please note the daily limit here. This will be 50,000 per day unless your organisation has requested for it to be changed. If you want to amend this limit, please contact your ANZ representative. The second method is from the Create Payment screen. Click Upload Payment File. Select the division if you have one, and then select ABA OSCO from the File Format drop-down list. It is important to note that when selecting this file type, a warning will appear to advise of an important difference between the file processing for OSCO when compared to direct entry. OSCO payments are processed as individual debits, which means that each payment instruction in the file will debit your account individually. This may mean that OSCO is not suitable depending on the nature of the payments being made. A batch can contain 1 to 5,000 payment instructions, up to a maximum value set by the daily OSCO limit I mentioned earlier. Processing payments via OSCO is an ideal way to mitigate the risk of cut-off times and means your beneficiaries will be paid that day, rather than having to wait until the next business day for the payment to be processed. Please contact your ANZ representative if you would like more information about OSCO payments. I would now like to move on to the next topic of user permissions. Your user access to features and functions in Transactive Global is governed by a set of permissions that we call roles. Users will be assigned one or more roles, and these define the tasks that you can perform within Transactive Global, such as the ability to approve domestic payments. Roles can be further customized through permission settings, which specify the attributes a user is entitled to, such as what accounts can be selected to fund a payment or the maximum value limit that you can approve up to. User permissions are managed by your organisation's administrator. So if you are unable to view certain data or perform a specific function with Transactive Global, you should speak to your administrator about reviewing your roles and permission settings. We will be running a separate administration webinar in May where we'll go into detail about how to view, edit, and assign user permissions. But for today, we will have a brief look at some of the common roles that are available. We will now show a screen with some predefined roles available in Transactive Global. It does not show all roles, but is intended to give you an understanding of some of the different types of roles available. You can also create your own custom role at any time. Let's now take a closer look at the All Entitlements and Service Request Create roles. All Entitlements for cash management gives the user access to payments, receivables, balance and transaction reporting, and term deposit reporting. This role can be altered to suit your company requirements by amending division, payment purpose, approval discretions, accounts available for payments, reporting, and service request functionality. As an example, this has defined or defaulted to all accounts. I can select specific accounts if required. I can also update payment approval limits if required. Let's now take a look at the Service Request Create role. This role allows you to submit and track your account and channel maintenance requests in channel. Forms continues to be one of the highest request queries, so I wanted to highlight this role as it may save the need to complete a form or send an email in the future. Service Requests Create allows you to initiate a range of inquiry or maintenance requests and provides full visibility of the request along with an audit trail. Popular service requests include payment trace request, payment recall, account inquiry, transaction inquiry, stop paper statements, and activating bank feeds. Additional service requests will continue to be added, further streamlining how we serve you. Our next webinar on the 19th of March will explore service requests in more detail. So if you would like more information, please join us then. If you don't have access to service requests today, please reach out to your administrator about whether the permission can be assigned to you or speak to an ANZ representative. The next helpful hint I will go through is the Contact Us icon located in the application banner in the top right hand of the screen. This can be used if you require additional assistance from ANZ. And for users in Australia, it can digitally identify and verify you without needing to answer security questions or select from menu options on your phone keypad. Start by selecting the country you are calling from. In this instance, select Australia. Then select from one of the 5 topics. You will be then provided a unique one-time phone number and access code to enter into your phone. A new function added to this feature is the option to report fraud or unusual activity on your account. By selecting this, you will be connected with our customer protection team. For those of you on this call from other countries today, when you select your region, a list of contact numbers will be provided for you to dial. Another great feature, also located in the application banner, is the help icon. If you require specific assistance in completing a task within ANZ Transactive Global, clicking on this will open ANZ Digital Services Help in a new tab. We have been looking at ANZ Digital Services Help during today's session. It is an online self-service database of step-by-step guides, instructional videos, and frequently asked questions for our digital channels, including Transactive Global. Within our Help portal, select the How Can We Help search function to search for specific areas of interest. For example, I can type OSCO to quickly view detailed instructions for creating an OSCO payment. Digital Services Help also has a promoted articles section where you can view and easily access the most commonly read topics by you, our customers. You can see here some of the topics we have spoken about today are here, including cutoff times, user permissions, and another one I would like to highlight here is the February announcements of 2024, which is a dynamic list of all features or upgrades ANZ has made this month. You can see here that we have recently upgraded the look and feel of the operating account screen and have recently launched a new reports menu in accounts. Historical feature launches are also here, so you can go back and read about enhancements to Transactive Global that you may have missed or not been aware of that may enhance your user experience. You can also register for an upcoming webinar session here and also view pre-recorded webinars that you may have missed. If at any time you're experiencing difficulties with ANZ Transactive Global, please refer to our ANZ Digital Service Status page. This page provides updates on information about operations of our institutional systems and services. The final topic for today is a brief look at 2 recently added features that may enhance your usage of ANZ Transactive Global: news and analysis. In this menu, you will find the latest market-leading news, analysis, and thought leadership from our experts across more than 30 global markets. Insights and research provides market and economic commentary to give you fresh ideas and different perspectives on the industries and topics that matter to you. Another new feature added to ANZ Transactive Global is the Fees and Charges dashboard. This provides access to view and analyse fees, excluding GST, incurred by your organisation on ANZ products and services accessed by ANZ Transactive Global for your Australian domiciled accounts. The dashboard displays fee information for up to 24 months, categorised by monthly payable fees, receivable fees, total fees, and other fees, presented in customisable widgets. The Fees and Charges Details grid provides itemised activity types by account. The Fees and Charges data is updated on the 15th of every month. Grids can be customised by selecting payment types or format styles from a line graph to a bar graph or chart graph. You can download the dashboard to a PowerPoint presentation pack, which we will show you now. And the Fees and Charges grid to a CSV file. Unfortunately, we can't show you the CSV file via the demonstration site, but in your live site, this will work. If you don't have fees and charges in your menu, please speak to your administrator. And that brings us to the end of our Tips and Tricks webinar. On the page I'm about to display is a list of upcoming webinars, together with a QR code to register for upcoming events. A reminder that a recording of this session, as well as the questions and answers, will be added to the ANZ Digital Service Help in the coming days, should you wish to revisit anything or share with your colleagues. You can get to an ANZ Digital Services Help by scanning the QR code currently on the screen or by clicking on the help icon next time you are signed into ANZ Transactive Global. I hope this session has been of value, and we look forward to you attending our future ANZ Transactive Global webinars. Thank you.